Hey, what's happening, folks? Sexboy91 here, and it is week 7. We have some new Team of the Week items in packs, aka fantasy cards, if you guys want to call them that. But the 9 cards that are in packs are a Josh Reed, Ryan Mathews, Harry Douglas, Demeco Ryans, Antonio Allen, Chandler Jones, Captain Munnerlyn, whom I have to get on my team, Andy Dalton, John Abraham, and of course, you get the Megatron for completing this week's DirecTV Collection of the Week. So let's go ahead and look at these cards in the auction house and see how they stack up with the other cards. Okay, so right here we have Jordan Reed. Nobody knew who this guy was. Everybody thought Fred David was the best player on that Redskin squad besides RG3. And Jordan Reed came out of nowhere and surprised everybody with that game against the Bears. He had 9 receptions, 134 yards, and a touchdown. And the card's going for really nice. If you guys are struggling to get coins in this game or struggling to pull good packs, I'm telling you, if you guys are trying to get a good team, this card might be for you. It's really cheap, has nice speed, really solid catching stats. The run blocking is kind of suspect, but you can't complain about the card. Look at the price it's going for. Look at the stats. Like, it reflects what it should be. I expected this card to be around like 10,000 coins because whenever anything new comes out, the price is super high. But for its price and for the stats you're seeing, it's not a bad pickup for right around 3,000 coins if you guys can get it for that price. We'll go ahead and compare this card, even though it's not fair. How that card already got 2 games on it? That seems kind of low. See, why does the card only have 2 games? That's crazy. All right, let's go ahead and compare him to Greg Olsen. Like, nothing's fair. Like, all these cards I'm showing you right now are 87s, and they're a lot more expensive, around like 10,000 coins. Of course, Vernon Davis you got from completing last week's collection, and that's not even fair comparison as well. So Reed has some good catching stats. That's a good tight end with good catching and good catching in traffic, which is reliable. I can say that's better than Greg Olsen. He always drops anything in traffic. So, but for the price, I can't complain about it. And I might pick this card up because I'm always picking up cheap cards whenever I can. Here is the Ryan Mathews, and he is cheap too. I did not expect him to be this price, but I guess with all the running backs they got in this game, nobody really wants to have an 86 running back with an 82 carry. I looked at this card like, you know what? I would never use this card. 82 carry. He has really solid speed, really solid agility and acceleration, pretty subpar trucking, and an 82 carry. Like, yeah, I'm never using this card. 2,700 coins is super cheap, and it's funny if you guys want to come on the auction house and buy 3 legend or 3 fantasy cards for the price of 1 pro pack. It might be the best way to do it because pro packs are terrible this year. But I'm going to compare this card to the Alfred Morris that I have, and not a fair comparison once again. As you guys can see, Alfred Morris is obviously a lot better. He has better carrying, but I would not pay any amount of coin for a halfback with 82 carry. Right? That's super low. Like, my halfbacks have to have a higher carry. I have Reggie Bush, but I can't get rid of him because that's the gold upgrade edition. So when I buy a halfback, I have to have at least an 85 or 89 higher carry on it, just because I don't trust the game robbing me in the last second. My running back fumbles the ball, and Ryan Mathews is known to fumble the ball, so it fits him perfectly. But I would never use him, and for its price, I don't think anybody's ever going to use him. Unless you're a Charger fan, then I feel sorry for you, because then I'm talking bad about your team. And now you're going to leave the hate mail in my comment section below. Man, we got 3 players so far that are really cheap. If you guys want to buy some pro packs, I highly recommend you come over here to the auction house instead of picking some of these fantasy cards, because you're going to probably pull these cards regardless out of those packs, and you're better off spending that $7,500 on maybe 2 or 3 of these players for the price. But here's the Harry Douglas. He had a big week against, I believe, they played the Buccaneers, and it's funny, the Buccaneers defense got all them hitters and all them good coverage cornerbacks, and they can't cover a 3rd string wide receiver in Harry Douglas. 7 receptions, 149 yards, and a touchdown. He has pretty solid stats. I like the speed and the agility. The catching could be, it's not bad. It's good, and the route running is nice. And for the price, that's really good. I believe the T.Y. Hilton has really similar stats. I want to say, let's go ahead and take a comparison. T.Y. Hilton has really similar stats. Yeah, he does. He has really similar stats, and he has a better release. But they're pretty much the same receiver. I believe the T.Y. Hilton fantasy one right now is going for right around the same price. So if you guys want to get the fantasy one or the Harry Douglas, it's up to you. I do like Harry Douglas. He's a little bit taller. It's only 2 or 3 inches, not that big of a difference, but you never know. A lot of cornerbacks are 5'8", 5'10", so Harry Douglas might be able to get the ball over those guys' head. But pretty much when it comes to these 2 cards, it's a pick 'em game, and I would go with Douglas over T.Y. Hilton. But T.Y. Hilton is just a monster himself, so you guys decide who was better. Here is the Demeco Ryans. I honestly did not expect him to get a card this week. I figured that usually if you have a really, really big week or and you lost, you might get a card such as a receiver or running back. But with linebackers, you can probably find anybody in the NFL to put at this position. But here's Demeco Ryans, 87 overall, 5,000 coins. Pretty average stats compared to what the linebackers I compared to before its price. It's reasonable, 5,000 coins, not that bad for a linebacker. Kuechly, of course, the same rating. And Kuechly doesn't have the awareness stat Ryans does, but everything else is pretty much similar other than the tackling. So if you guys want a good linebacker with high awareness, Ryans might be the guy for you. But you always know I'm going to go with Kuechly. He's my man. Dude's a beast. He has good catching. He has good jumping. He's just a monster. But Ryans for 5,000 coins is not a bad pickup, especially, I cannot stress this enough, especially for you guys trying to build your team on a budget. If you do a solo challenge, do the regular season, you get 7,500 coins. Do not buy packs. I'm telling you, come to your auction house, pick some of these cards up for cheap, use them on your team, play head-to-head seasons, win games online, and get coins that way, and then use those for packs if you want to, or build your team up better that way, because that might be more fun in the near future than actually going and buying packs every time you get coins, because after a while, you're going to get frustrated and stop playing this game. So if you guys build your team on a budget, Demeco Ryans is not a bad card to have, especially once this weekend hits and the card gets down like 3,000, 2,000 coins. Not a bad middle linebacker to have for that price. I feel like if you get a pick six every single week, you're getting your card no matter what you do. You can have a pick six, have a bad game, but you're getting your card just because you had a pick six, like Antonio Allen had against the Patriots this past weekend, which pretty much brought them back into that game. Not 86 free safety, pretty solid speed, 88 overall, going for 4,000 coins. So once again, like, these cards are so cheap. I guess people don't really care about the fantasy cards as much anymore. They just don't care about this week's batch, because I heard a lot of bad complaints on Twitter about this week's fantasy cards, so it makes sense that these cards are going for cheap. But he has pretty solid zone, pretty good press, and pretty good play rec. That's not bad, but everything else, like I said, falls in line with free safeties. Free safeties and strong safeties in this game do not have great stats. Like, their stats are pretty much, like, they're just bad. Like, you can look at Deshaun Golston. He's going for the same price. Like, pretty much same speed. Agility's about the same. Tackling is in Allen's favor. Awareness is about the same, so is zone. But he has a better press and also has a better play rec. So the press is not necessary in my opinion. I'm not going to use this guy in coverage, especially with a 71 man coverage. But if you guys like to use your safeties in a man coverage and he has a good press, he might be able to jam to a small receiver at the line of scrimmage. But like I said, free safeties in this game really don't have that great of stats. You guys see Earl Thomas right here. Pretty similar stats other than the speed, which is only 4 difference, and the agility, which is 8 difference. So not a bad price. It's not a bad free safety. Don't look at these stats. Like, it's really comparable to all the other free safeties in this game. I might pick him up just because I gotta bolster the roster with good players, because everybody always gets injured. But it's not a bad price for a nice safety if you guys see the stats there. So pick him up for around 3,000 coins. I know I would. Now we're on to Chandler Jones, and he's going for 17K. He's only 4 on the auction house right now, so the price will get much cheaper later on down the line than it has to, because look at his card stats. He may have a good stat line, 11 tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble, but the only 2 stats on the back of this card that impress me are his power move and his block shed. Everything else is pretty much in line with a average right in this game, and paying 17K for that card is not worth it. You guys can go ahead and spend yourself around, I want to say, 15 to 17K on an elite Alden Smith, who will provide you with the same option as this card. Also be a little bit faster, have better tackling, also have a way better finesse move. So if you guys are looking for a nice right in, Alden Smith might be your guy. Maybe Robert Quinn as well. Look at the card stats with Robert Quinn. They're really similar. Robert Quinn has the advantage for the most part in some attributes, but honestly, 17K for that card is too high. It comes down around 6,000, maybe up to 10,000, might be reasonable, but right now, I stay away from this card. But hopefully, it gets down to 7K. I really want to play with this card. I'm a sucker for tall guys. Phrasing. Now we're on to Captain Munnerlyn. He pretty much is the only Panther right now I don't have on the squad, but he just came out, so eventually I will get him when he gets down around 10,000, maybe 15,000 coins, but if he doesn't, I'll pick him up for around 25 to 30. But that's what he's going for right now. Stats look really, really nice. 92 speed, 92 man coverage, but I'm being biased right now. His stats are pretty average. 88 play rec and 86 awareness, which is really nice actually, and a pretty nice and solid zone and a bad press. But if he's my nickel cornerback, I'm not going to need him to be pressing those smaller receivers as long as he can keep up with them. And I'm kind of salty because I thought they might give him a Football Outsider card just because this year alone, he's been having a great season. He has not allowed a touchdown to his receiver that he's guarding. Like, he pretty much shuts those guys down, and that's really great. And I was kind of mad because they gave one to stupid Darius Butler. And I'm saying that because I was kind of mad about it. But they gave one to him, even though he really didn't do anything. He had a pick, and he shut down Sidney Rice. But I feel like Cap Munnerlyn should deserve the card for shutting down I don't even know. Actually, never mind. That makes sense. I don't know who he shut down against Durant. I don't know who he was guarding, actually. So never mind. Makes sense. Reverse that statement I just said. But anyway, here's Cap Munnerlyn. I'm going to pick this card up. And 22K right now is kind of high, considering that Charles Tillman is going around for 15K, which is just a better option for your price. He's just really good. The only disadvantage about him, he's just really slow. And that makes me mad with that 88 speed, I believe. Like, he is not that great in coverage against slot receivers. So looking for a guy that's really, really fast, that has good ball handling or ball hawking skills, also has really good awareness to know what routes can be ran there. So I'm trying to find a happy medium. Right now I'm using Cromartie. He seems to be working on my team, but he's not a good nickel cornerback. He's a good number 2. But right now at that spot, he's not the best. So once Captain gets down the round, I want to say 15K, I'll go ahead and scoop him up then. But as of now, I'm going to go ahead and stay away from him. You guys should too, unless you guys are just a big Captain fan as I am. Now we're on to the Red Rifle himself and Andy Dalton, and it's so funny. I'm about to speak in code real quick, but if Andy Dalton was not athletically limited, he would be like 75K, but because he's athletically limited, he's going right around 10,000 coins, and it's warranted. His stats look very, very similar to Cam Newton, but if this card happened to have some speed, it'd be the same price for the most part. Because look at the stats. Like, Cam Newton has a bigger arm, which makes sense. He has a better throw accuracy, which is kind of, it's okay to push in my opinion, and he has a better speed by a lot, 17 better speed, a way bigger agility boost, and also same throw deep. So pretty much these cards are really, really similar. The one thing that separates them is that one of them is a first round pick and one of them is a second round pick, and also one of them is faster than the other. So one's more athletic than the other, so that's why the price is so different. But they look very similar throwing wise, and if I was a Bengals fan, I'd definitely pick him up. But for 10,000 coins, I'd go ahead and wait till it gets down cheaper. I believe Philip Rivers came out a couple weeks ago, and he was around like 25,000. It's probably dropped down to 5. So if you're patient enough, you guys can buy this card for a lot cheaper. And don't be that guy I saw on Twitter that bought this card for around 75,000 coins. That guy was a moron. Just wait. Like, honestly, just wait. Now we're on to John Abraham, Star of the Week, and I'm really, really confused about this card because I could have swore the Cardinals ran a 4-3 defense. I may be wrong about that. I don't watch them play. They might run a 3-4 for the most part because they do have Calais Campbell and Darnell Dockett out there, so they might run a 3-4, and Abraham is a hybrid type player, but he's not a right outside linebacker. He's not a Zach Brown coverage linebacker. He is a hand on the ground, rush to passer linebacker, just because looked at his depth chart stats on the Mutt website. He has a 95 power move, and everything else for man coverage, zone coverage, finesse move, it's pretty much reflecting a strictly bull rushing linebacker. It is confusing me because I could have swore they ran a 4-3. I'm probably wrong though. They might run a 3-4. So for 58K, same price as Terrell Suggs was about 2 weeks ago. So it's a theme I see so far. The Star of the Weeks are generally going to be going for a lot more, but I honestly will stay away from this card. The only thing I like about this card, other than the run stuff chemistry, is this play recognition at a 92. That's really, really nice, but I would not use this card in man coverage as of now. I'm going to go ahead and keep that to Zach Brown or Lawrence Taylor, whoever I get, but for that price, 58K, you end up by yourself a Von Miller, who'll be a nice right end for your team, or left end. Also, Alden Smith is a nice addition to your team as well. If you guys are willing to spend 20,000 coins on Alden Smith, he's going to provide you pretty much the same thing. He's not going to have the play recognition that Abraham does, but his stats look very, very similar, and he also have the same power move and also have a little bit better finesse move in Alden Smith's favor. So I would honestly go with the Alden Smith over John Abraham, but if he gets down around 30K, pick him up then, but I would not try this guy out in coverage. He is not worth it, and if you want looking for a coverage linebacker, you're better off going with a Patrick Willis. Now we are on to the hot ticket of the week, Megatron, aka Calvin Johnson, and I was kinda geeked about this card until I saw its stats. I'm like, man, they really boosted these stats up by like 1. Like, there's like 4 stat boosts on this card plus a different chemistry. I'm like, this is not really worth it. Then I checked the price in the auction house. I'm like, man, 180,000 coins to get this collection done, while the elite Calvin Johnson is going for right around 80,000. Yeah, you guys know where I'm going with this. This fantasy Calvin Johnson may be the best player, not slash legend in the game for your team, but 180,000 coins for a card you can't even sell, I'll pass. Like, I was so hesitant to do some of the legendary collections. Like, I didn't even want to do the Barry Sanders collection just because I'm getting a great running back on my team, but I can't sell him if I don't like him. That's my issue when it comes to these collections. You can't auction them off. if I'm spending 180,000 coins on a collection, I want to be able to sell the card if I don't like it. I know I'm going to love this Calvin Johnson, but with the minor stat boost, not that big of a deal. I will honestly make the investment on 80k or 90k to get the Calvin Johnson red card, which is the elite, then spend the extra 100 additional K to get the fantasy card. But that's just me though. And a lot of you guys are probably like, well, this card's going to be the best wide receiver in the game for the most part until they come out with all the other cards later down the line. That's great, but I'm not making the investment on a card I can't sell. Like, I will do the collection for the Lawrence Taylor, I will do the collection for the Warren Sapp, but if I can't sell the card, I'm not doing it. It's not that big of a deal to me. I want to have my coin. The coins are more important than actually having the best and greatest card. And since the 94 is pretty much just as good as the 96, other than a few stats here and there, I honestly rather make the investment on Calvin Johnson Jr., the elite card, just because I know I can always go back and sell it. But it is a nice card. If I get all the collectibles for cheap, that'd be kind of cool. I'm hoping they drop some premium packs or something like that that guarantees a collectible, because if the price comes down, we can all get Calvin Johnsons. That'd be a nice investment. Like, I'm thinking if they get down to like 20k a piece, that would be worth it more than likely, but it'll be the same price as the elite. But 180k is way too damn high. I stay away from it. If you're a big Calvin Johnson fan, just go ahead and buy the elite card. It'll do the same exact job as the fantasy one. It just won't be great. Well, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you like the series. Also, drop a like for my photoshopping magic. I got the Megatron transforming into a Transformer, which is funny because Megatron's a bad guy while Richard Sherman's Optimus Prime, which is a good guy, which is really funny to me. But drop a like for that photoshopping editing. And also, before I forget, this week's Football Outsider cards are very, very, very disappointing. And I'm probably not gonna pull packs. Like, unless something major comes out and I'm really geeked about it, yeah, I'm not pulling packs this weekend, so you guys don't have to worry about me opening a 15-pack bundle, and I'll go ahead and get my Microsoft points back up to where it once was. But right now, the 5 cards that are coming out this week that nobody cares about are a fullback in Stanley Havili. So we have a Colt. I don't know why he's getting a card. I felt like he might. That's weird. Like, I don't know why he gets a card. We have a wide receiver in Jeremy Kerley, 97 yards and a touchdown with 6 third-down conversions. Okay, we have a Trent Williams, another left tackle, showing Lions some love. We have 2 linebackers. One is Lavonte David. He had 6 defeats, including 3 for tackles for losses. We also have a Lawrence Timmons, who had 13 tackles for an average of just 3.2 yards a game, which is really random, I guess, but I'm going to assume Stanley Havili will be the limited edition card, which is not enough to give me the full packs this Friday, so I would stay away from packs this weekend, wait until Saturday until they drop the new legends. That's just me. But other than that, that is the week's Football Outsider cards, and that's this week's fantasy cards. I'm out, the mother bleeper. Oh, before I go, let me know which fantasy cards or which fantasy stars got snubbed this weekend in the comment section below. Peace.